Hi, this is Dr. Dan Elliott. It's 2014, it's the fall, and we're ready to roll with our new class. This class will be Language and Culture and Literacy, Language, Culture, and Literacy, TEDU 323. So in this course this semester together, we will accomplish an overview of literacy development with the consideration of language, both first and second language, and the cultural impacts upon learning from your students' first and second language backgrounds. Future teachers, that's you. You're going to learn historical and cultural concepts, theories, and practices related to the development of literacy for all students in a diverse classroom. If you're teaching in California, more than likely you are going to have a very diverse classroom. Literacy, what is literacy? It's the capacity to read and understand. It's the capacity to process language. We have all sorts of literacy. You've heard of computer literacy, mathematical literacy. My wife is a sewing expert, and she talks with her friends about sewing literacy. It's the capacity to understand a field of knowledge. And in our case, reading being the basic building block, and writing being the next basic building block, and speaking being the third. Reading, writing, and speaking. Listening, understanding in the California classroom. So my name's Dr. Dan Elliott, and we'll be having fun together with this course. This semester, our course is offered as a hybrid. We ran out of space in classrooms, and so we were given the opportunity to have a 2-day-a-week class that normally would have met in a classroom 2 days a week and hold one of those 2 sessions in an online environment on Moodle. We'll be doing that on Tuesdays. You're doing that right now as you're watching this presentation. And then we will come together in the classroom on Thursday. During that classroom session, we'll experience some culminating discussions relating to everything we did online the first half of the week. You don't just have to do the online activities on Tuesdays. It's not a real-time environment. We call that being in asynchronous time. I might be online at 2 in the morning. You might be online at 6 in the evening or 3 in the afternoon. Asynchronous. So you don't all have to be online at the same time in the online segment of our class meetings. So where are we going? The required course textbooks are going to help us get to where we're going. One of them is by Cooper and Kiger. It's Literacy Assessment, Helping Teachers to Plan Instruction. It's the 4th edition. I strongly recommend you rent that book. It's a very pricey book. It's a great book, but it's very pricey, and I encourage you to rent it, find it used somewhere. We're working with the 4th edition. Don't go back into earlier editions because the chapters are different. But the second book you're going to need is Chapman and King, Carolyn Chapman, Rita King. This is Differentiated Instruction Strategies for Writing in the Content Areas. It's published by Corwin. You can probably find this used in a lot of places, especially on Amazon or other used book dealers. But it's a good book, and it's one I would recommend you keep in your library. So this was the literacy assessment picture. I forgot to show it to you. So another book that we will be using will be Strategies for K-8 Inquiry-Based Learning. And I thought I had a copy of that to show you, but I guess I packed it. We're moving our offices this week. So Strategies for K-8 Inquiry-Based Learning Integrating Language Arts and Social Studies. Oh, here it is, right here. Looks like that. So it's a series of books. Strategies for K-8 Inquiry-Based Learning is the whole series, and this particular book is Integrating Language Arts and Social Studies. If you're taking my TEDU311, History and Social Studies, we'll be using this book in that class as well. So, another book that is free for you online in the Moodle classroom as a resource, although you may want to own your own copy, is written by yours truly, and it's called Teaching on Target, Models, Strategies, and Methods That Work. So we're going to cover some of the models of teaching that are in this book. That will give you ideas about teaching as you relate them to the curriculum frameworks, to the Common Core standards for teaching in the English language arts areas. Those are the textbooks. Oh, your Cal TPA is a good resource for you to have, but you don't have to buy it. You can get it online, get it up at the website for the state. Another one you'll hear me mention in class is the phonics they use. This one is by Patricia Cunningham. It's not required, but it's a good resource. If you don't understand phonics, and you're going to be an early reading teacher, you must understand phonics. It's essential. So I encourage you to get some kind of a book that helps you understand phonics. That's a good one. You can find it used. Another optional book is an online textbook, and it's linked in your syllabus and in the course on Moodle. It's called Put Reading First. It's by the Center for Improvement of Early Reading Achievement. Put Reading First. So there you go, the books that we'll be using. We have TPEs in this program. You remember what those stand for? TPAs are teacher performance assessments, and TPEs are the areas in which you get assessed. So there are 11 of those. Actually, there are 12, but the 12th one isn't measured. There are 11, and in this course, we will address TPE 2, Monitoring Student Learning, TPE 7, Teaching English Learners, and TPE 9, Instructional Planning. We'll address them all, but we will emphasize those three. Then we have Student Learning Outcome number 14, Character Development. We've been talking throughout this program, if you're not new to the program, about the fruits of the Spirit in Galatians, but we're going to expand that this year. We want to address the question about you. What is your character like? Are you in Christ? And how will it be for you to teach in a Christ-like way? That's essential, and that has everything to do with your character. Once you understand how your character is developing, you will have no problem assisting your learners to develop character, even in the public school environment. Well, so what kind of work will we have to do in this class? We're going to start with a quiz. Oh, that's frightening. So when we come together on Thursday in this class, there will be a quiz. It will be introduced over the internet. It will be an online quiz, and you will take it at the close of class on Thursday, and it will have to do with our syllabus and our textbooks. So if you follow the directions in Moodle for Tuesdays, for the first half of the week's online session, studying the materials, looking at the front matter of the textbooks as it directs you to do, you'll have no problem with the quiz. Participation is essential in this course. When we come together on Thursday, we will have discussion. This will be an inquiry-based course model, instructional model that I'll be following. One of the models in my book, I call it Socratic inquiry, where I pose questions and help you to develop your responses as individuals in the classroom. Participation is essential. This is not a class where you can coast through sitting at the back of the room doing your email and semi-listening. You won't learn. You're investing a lot of money in this course, in this program, and we are equipping and preparing you to be an outstanding teacher. Teachers start by being outstanding learners. Outstanding learners do not sit in the back of the classroom, slouched in their chair, doing other things and only half paying attention to a class meeting. You may find, I love you dearly, and I will tell you that frequently, but you may find that I will focus on you if I see that sort of behavior to help you begin to be drawn into the class discussion. I'll be doing that as a demonstration of a technique that you should use as a teacher, because you will have learners who will be slouched in the back of the classroom, maybe barely or not paying attention at all. And motivation is something that we do as teachers. And so I will be demonstrating ways of drawing learners into the activity of the lesson. And I hope you'll notice those things and not be offended if I engage in that process with you, because participation is essential. 28% of the grade is based on your participation in the online sessions, the responses to the discussions for the online sessions, and in your engagement in the classroom discussion. I will be paying attention to your response to questions for the whole class discussion and your participation in the frequent small group discussions that we will do. I'm a big believer in the cooperative learning jigsaw, and I'll be explaining that as a teaching model to you and using it a lot. So, participation, 28%. One of the assignments that you'll do in the class, and you'll see it in your syllabus, it is a literature reading list annotated bibliography. Based on the grade levels you hope to begin teaching, you will want to go to the English Language Arts Framework and the curriculum documents on the state website and look at the lists of student literature books, student readings, student literary pieces. They might be fiction, they might be nonfiction. And I'll be encouraging you to prepare a list of age-appropriate literature readings, books, articles, and online materials that you might use across an entire school year with your preferred grade. I say preferred grade, but I want to caution you that when you get your credential, you could find yourself teaching any grade from kindergarten through 8th grade with the credential that you earn here at William Jessup. So don't get too locked into teaching 3rd grade or 4th grade or 6th grade. But back to the annotated bibliography. So you will select enough of those readings to satisfy probably one per month, so maybe 12 entries that you will have in your classroom literature list. And then you will engage in preparing an annotated bibliography. What is that? Well, you all know what a bibliography is. So imagine a bibliography with about a paragraph summarizing the content of the piece of literature that you're listing, following the normal bibliographical information. So that's your annotated bibliography. That assignment will be due near the end of the course, and there will be some information shared in class with you about that. Be sure to check the California English Language Arts Framework to determine the instructional content relationships with which to associate your selected reading items. Remember, a short paragraph, not a long, not even a half a page, maybe a third of a page is sufficient. APA format. The School of Education follows the format for the American Psychological Association. All education in California tends to follow APA format. We'll be demonstrating that in class, and there will be sample papers that I will share with you, but you should be familiar. This should not be new news to you in this 300 level course, because we've been following this format all along. It's required. If I find your papers are not in this format, they will be returned to you and not for no grade. There will be a character assignment, and you can read about it, but it's in this assignment you will describe how you will go about seeking to teach in the image of Christ. We emphasize a perspective of kindness, one of the fruits of the Spirit. Well, the fruit of the Spirit is love, and kindness is one of the characteristics of unconditional love. So, teaching in the image of Christ, I will have a presentation that I will share with you about that, but I want to see how you will plan to go about preparing yourself to teach in the image of Christ in the content of that assignment. It's 8% of the grade. In it, you will include a scenario, illustrations that you may have witnessed in your own educational experience. They could be positive and they could be negative illustrations. You could describe how some situation was not delivered in the image of Christ and how you would do it differently. Or you could describe how some teacher you witnessed or knew has demonstrated unconditional love and kindness as a teacher, and how you will want to emulate that in your own teaching. So be sure to provide a real or potentially real scenario wherein you would apply kindness within a language arts setting. There's a 4-point rubric. You can read about that in the syllabus. Language arts lesson design. We're teachers. You're preparing to be a teacher. So in this class, you will prepare a language arts lesson. It will be an English language arts lesson offered to a diverse classroom that contains both special needs and English language learners. You will use the WJU template, and you will identify the Common Core standard elements in your lesson. It could be part of a unit that you will also do later, next assignment, and so it could be part of the next assignment, but you will pull this one out, and I will be looking forward to giving you feedback on your English language arts lesson. And by the way, you probably will want to keep this handy for when you write your TPAs, especially after I can give you the feedback. Then there's the English language arts unit, which is related to TPE number 7, 12% of your grade. It will be a 6-week language arts classroom unit for the grade level of your preference. You will be sure to cite authorities and sources using APA format as you're preparing. Where did you get this information that you're putting into this unit? Did it come from your textbooks, some reading, some online source? You're going to follow APA format for citing those sources and placing them in your bibliography. Remember what happens if you don't follow APA format in any way. The paper is returned to you for no credit. And you have chance to, if you turn it in early, by the way, you always have time to turn it in again for a better assessment. I would encourage you in the unit plan to consider using an integrated thematic approach that covers English language arts and history social science, especially if you're in my TEDU323 class, History Social Science, because there's a similar assignment in there that is also an integrated thematic. And do I mind if you turn that assignment in for each class? No, as long as you emphasize in this class, the English Language Arts portion of it, and in the other one. So you would write two different papers. They would, and I would know if they're different or not, right? So, all right, so then there will be a reading reflection journal. All the reading that you do, all these books that you're going to read, all of the online pieces that you're going to read. I'm asking that you collect and read 5 journal articles from print or online media that you can get over at the library, or you can get it at the online page for the library. And you will respond to those in addition to your text materials. I'd like you to cover topics among these, and they're listed in your syllabus, but I'll read them to you anyway. Multiculturalism, equity issues, technology and teaching and learning, moral or religious education, legal issues, reform concerns for education, classroom management techniques, teacher effectiveness training, curriculum issues, English language learner issues. So those topics and others, feel free to come discuss it with me if you have other ideas. But pull from those topics and find journal articles and add them to your reading reflection journal, which is due at the end, and addresses, by the way, TPE number 2. So English language arts requires us to engage in some dialogue, of course. So in writing in your journal, I'll be explaining this in class and demonstrating it, but I'm going to talk to you about what we like to call a dialogic journal. You know the word dialogue, right? If you and I were having a conversation, you say something, I say something, you say something, that's a dialogue. Conversation between two people. In a dialogic journal, you essentially have a conversation with the author or with the writing piece. So you would make a statement that comes from the written piece, from the author, and then you would respond or reply to it. How would you apply it? What would you do with it? How is it useful to you? That sort of thing. Dialogue. There are some different formats you can use to make that happen. So then the last thing, assignment-wise, it's kind of part of your language arts lesson that I talked about earlier, but now this will be a presentation in the classroom of your language arts lesson. I actually encourage you to find a place or somewhere to teach this lesson. Teach it with children in your home. If you are in the classroom somewhere, see if you can get some opportunity to video without showing the faces of your students. You teaching a lesson to live people. Only about a 10-minute snippet from your whole lesson. And I'll ask you to get those planned and scheduled with me, because the last few weeks of class will be watching and critiquing each other's lessons. So it's essential for our mutual learning that you get those done earlier than the last week of class. So then there will be a final exam at the end of the last week. And that will be an online activity, and it will come directly from your reading. So all of the elements, I'll be actually asking you to give me input from the reading. That should be, according to your opinion on the final exam, and some of that will be collected and placed in the exam. So I haven't written the exam yet. It will reflect what we've learned, what you've read, and it will come from the reading portion of what you learn. Well, so next in your syllabus, there's an outline. It tells you the things we're covering from week to week. Remember, the first half of the week is online, and then on the Thursday, we meet in the classroom. You do not want to miss a Thursday. You do not want to miss a Thursday. You're essentially missing a whole week's worth of class if you miss a Thursday. When you come to class, bring your textbooks and bring your screens. Now, by screens, I mean your laptop computer, your iPad, whatever device you use to get online and on the internet. If you do it on your phone and you can read it and access things easily, use that. So follow the schedule. You can see in the schedule there are some links to places, things that you should access. It tells you when to access them and what to do with that information. So that's in your syllabus. Our course is all about mastering our understanding of English language arts learning for English speaking and non-English speaking first language learners, for both, for kinds, and not just Spanish English. We're talking about any non-English speaking first language learner. So we don't want to get sidetracked with the emphasis on Hispanic language learners that is prevalent in California, but certainly not the only language. In our area alone, there are 15 other language groups that are in our schools today besides Spanish speaking and English speaking people. So we're going to master that. You're going to master that. I'm committed to helping you to master this. We will work together. I will be in my office on Tuesdays, working online with the resources that you place there. I will be available for appointments on Tuesdays. Other than that, I have an office hour sign on my door that I would encourage you to sign up if you're getting lost, if you're getting confused, if things aren't making sense. I want to be here for you. I am here for you. I will be praying for you throughout the semester. You are important to me. So make use of my availability if you need help, if you need encouragement. I'd be happy to talk with one of you, two of you, well, 6 of you, as many as can fit in my office. If we need a larger small group than that, we can go somewhere and maybe over to the cafeteria and have coffee or something. I'm not opposed to sharing lunch, sharing time over lunch with you in the cafeteria as well. I'm here for you. So other things in the syllabus you need to know about. You need to know about academic honesty. You need to know about plagiarism. That's why we emphasize APA format. We will not, this university does not tolerate plagiarism. Plagiarism is where you take some work that is not your own, that someone else did, and you represent it as your own without giving the author appropriate recognition. That is very serious at William Jessup, because it's very serious in the context of Christian ethics. Stealing is not acceptable in Christian ethics. So plagiarism is not acceptable in Christian ethics. So academic honesty is described, cheating is described. I don't want to take the time to talk to you about that. I think those are downers. However, do read what it says in the syllabus. It's not there just to fill up pages. Athletes. If you are an athlete and you think you might have to miss a class on a Thursday, you need to see me well in advance, and you need to bring me information from your coach. And then when you return from that excursion, you need to bring, signed by your coach, the work that I will have given you to do during that time. Short of that, you won't get credit for the session you miss. My phone number. Cell phone is 818-321-5014. My office phone, if they don't change it, is 916-577-7462. Our new offices are downstairs in the academic quad, over underneath the president's office area, and I'm in the end office from when you enter the area where the School of Education exists. I look forward to serving you. God bless you. May we have a wonderful time honoring the Lord together this semester.